I have been waiting to do this video, but I'm going to tell you this was so difficult. I am sharing with you the 5 books I believe every woman should read in 2025. Now, this was very hard. I worked on this as if somebody was really waiting on me to give them this information. So I sure hope that you order at least one of these books, DM me or comment below. Let me know the book you plan on reading, or let me know if you've read any of these, okay? Now, I am giving these to you from number 5 to number 1. That took a whole moment in and of itself, but there is a reason or a method to my madness, and I'll explain that at the end. And then lastly, because I had such a hard time narrowing it down to 5 books, I have 4 bonus books, and so I'll tell you those too. Coming in at number 5, drum roll please. Yes, I have notes. Coming in at number 5 is It Didn't Start With You, How Inherited Family Traumas Shapes Who We Are and How to End the Cycle by Mark Wolin. Listen to the description that they have about the book. Depression, anxiety, chronic pain, phobias, obsessive thoughts. The evidence is compelling. The roots of these difficulties may not reside in our immediate life experiences or in chemical imbalances in our brains, but in the lives of our parents, grandparents, and even great-grandparents. I'm going to be honest, this book is for the nerds. If you like to understand the research, if it is important for you to really understand why you show up the way you do, this is the book. This has deeply impacted my clinical practice as a therapist, but you don't have to be a therapist for it to impact you. Get this, it didn't start with you. Okay, number 4 on my list of 5 books you should read in 2025 is We Should All Be Millionaires, A Woman's Guide to Earning More, Building Wealth, and Gaining Economic Power by Rachel Rodgers. Listen to this description. We Should All Be Millionaires details a realistic, achievable, step-by-step path. Y'all know I love that. To creating the support, confidence, and plan you need to own your success and become the millionaire the world needs you to be. I am a bit obsessed with Rachel Rodgers. She's that girl. I will, mark my word, I will attend one of her events one day. Somebody tag her and tell her I love her. Don't worry about it. I'll do it myself. Listen, this book has changed me deeply. It shined a light on some things that I needed to understand about me. It's opened up my mindset. It is revolutionary. Getting harder and harder. Number 3 is Sisterhood Heals, The Transformative Power of Healing in Community by a fellow therapist, Dr. Joy Harden Bradford. Listen to this. It says, strengthen the relationships that mean the most, heal with your sisters, and transform your life for the better. Not only because she's a fellow therapist, not only because she's an African-American therapist, but because she is talking about one of my favorite topics, and that is friendship, particularly adult friendship. Y'all, I am obsessed with this book. I really want to host a book club with this book, and so I am considering doing it within the Bite-Sized Breakthrough for Busy Women community. So if you're interested in that, DM me. But I am telling you, if you're trying to navigate the terrains of adult friendship, which we all need, get this book, Sisterhood. We are getting closer and closer. Number 2 on the 5 books I believe you need to read in 2025 is Set Boundaries, Find Peace, A Guide to Reclaiming Yourself by another fellow therapist. Her name is Nedra Glover Tawwab. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Y'all, I love this book. Listen, boundary setting is such an important aspect of your own growth. And I have this interesting relationship with boundaries because I believe we always focus on trying to set boundaries with other people, but really people need to set boundaries with you as well. And then also we want to set these boundaries, but we want to tell other people how to respond to the boundaries. That's not fair either. I'm gonna do a whole live on this. But first, get this book so that you can do what it says. Reclaim yourself. Now, let me tell you, I knew from the very beginning when I was making this list which book was going to be number 1, must read. Now, after you read this, you're not going to want to speak to me anymore. But this probably is one of the most transformative books that I have read in my life. Of course, nowhere near the Bible, but you know what I mean. Are you ready? the number one book I believe you need to read in 2025 is this, Soul Care by Rob Reimer. Listen to this. This is a book that explores 7 principles for achieving lasting transformation and freedom. The book encourages readers to engage in self-reflection, repentance, and forgiveness to heal their souls. Baby, is that not talking my language? There are 7 principles that the book covers: securing your identity, repentance, breaking family sin patterns, forgiving others, healing wounds, overcoming fears, and deliverance. When I tell you, I wish this could be required reading for every person of faith. And if you are watching this and you don't necessarily subscribe to a faith, I am glad you're here, but I'm gonna tell you, I still want you to read this. This book can change your life. Listen, truly, you can read this book all of 2025. Don't rush through it. Use it during your quiet time. This book, I am telling you, will transform how you see God, how you see yourself, and how you see others. Get this book. I'm not done. I'm not done. Remember, I told you I have 4 bonus books. But before I give you those 4 bonus books, I want to give you an idea of my method to determining what was going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it didn't start with you. I must admit, again, this is a nerdy kind of book. It might kind of be a hard read for you. Not that you aren't smart. I know you're brilliant, but just because it uses some clinical terms and it is going to really shine a light on some things. And so I'm saying, okay, if they just decide not to go there yet, that's okay. But then I did We Should All Be Millionaires as number 4 because there's some other things you need to deal with before you start focusing on the money piece. Although this book will transform your life, I think there's some things you need to be aware of before you get to that. Then Sisterhood Heals, I put this at number 3. It's a perfect place after 1 and 2 because 1 and 2 has you doing a lot of internal work so that when you get to the Sisterhood Heals, you may see yourself a little bit clearer so then you can see your sister friends. And then number 2, Set Boundaries, Find Peace. This is really what it says, reclaiming yourself, really taking personal responsibility for what is okay and what is not okay for you. And then, of course, number 1, Soul Care. That's where the real work occurs. And so if you don't read anything else, you can deal with your soul. Okay, let me tell you the 4 bonus books. All right, here are the 4 bonus books I want you to read in 2025. I could not do this list without saying these 4, and you'll understand why in just a moment. Okay, so the first book, my girl, Valerie Burton. Listen, there aren't going to be too many times you're going to find a book list that I'm talking about that doesn't reference my girl, Valerie. She has impacted my life personally. She's a personal friend and she's just that girl. And so the book anything she writes, I would recommend. But for today, I would recommend you read Happy Women Live Better. And then some of you are thinking, Robert, all of these books are internal and looking at yourself and discovering something new. I want to read something that's fun and easy. Okay, well, how about reading a book by Viola Davis, her memoir, which is called Finding Me. Baby, it was so good. I loved it. I already loved her, but now she might be my favorite actress. And then there are 2 more books that I want you to read. One of them is called Before You Take His Name. Are you a single lady? You got to get the book by Robin May called Before You Take His Name. This is not for engaged women. This is for a woman who is single, who wants a significant relationship. I walk you through the questions you need to ask yourself before you take him seriously or before you take his name. And then this is the perfect time for you to get my devotional, Live Intentionally, Fully Engaged. Now listen, I created this devotional with great intention. In other words, I know we have a lot going on and we're juggling so many things. So I created this devotional where you just read the devotional for that day 1, and then I give you questions for the rest of the week to just reflect on. So you don't have to read the devotional every day. Doesn't that make it so much easier? Just read it the first day of the week or whenever you decide, and then the next 5 days are questions for you to reflect on. So the bonus books are Happy Women Live Better, Finding Me, Before You Take His Name, and Live Intentionally, Fully Engaged. All right, friend. Now remember, I want you to DM me which book, or comment right here and let me know which book you've read or which book you're going to run and go get right away. If you are looking for any of the books, I've tried to tag all of the authors below. And of course, if you want one of my books, Before You Take His Name, Live Intentionally, Fully Engaged, or any of the other books I've written, you can click the link in my bio to access it. All right. I can't wait to hear what you guys get from the books you choose.